guys, it is Adele and Jean again, and we're back for the second round of Q&As, and I literally need a kiss from you, Jean.
We are gonna keep it simple here.
Yeah, you want to tell them what kiss really
Well,
stands
people
for?
know kiss, right? Keep it simple, stupid, or keep it short and sweet. It's basically what we tell somebody when just give us a cliff notes. Don't get into the whole technical details behind it. So this kiss segment with Eugene and Adele is about giving you everything low down, stripped off with all the technical details.
It's basically cheat for me. Cliff notes is how I survived my entire school. Anyway, so I have a new set of questions, and this week I'm going to ask a bit more general stuff about the blockchain. And you know, it's 2019. I think even in the short amount of time that I have been studying blockchain and reading about it, we've noticed some changes. But let's just go down first to the basic, and this is what most layman people would ask. What are the industries that you think will see the fastest or the soonest adoption of the blockchain technology?
See, when we talk about the blockchain technology, I always try to draw reference to what happened in the past before, right? Because blockchain technology, with all the mystical buzzwords surrounding it, at the base of it all, you can always look at it as a form of ledgers, form of database, a storage of information, except that the way it's encrypted makes it safer, and the way we use it is different from the databases as we know. But when you look at database from, say, the last 20 years, before that, when you went to the library, you have a little file cabinet with your little catalog, and then this database came around and everything's all digitized. That's the same thing when it comes with blockchain as well. A lot of industries will eventually move towards blockchain as a de facto way of storing data and moving data around. Now, to answer your question about which industry will move the fastest, when we look at innovation and tech, anything that comes out of, like, you know, Silicon Valley, or anything that tries to be as creative as possible will be the first one to test the market. But whether they will eventually stay or not, that's a different question.
Right.
But I think the next wave, the next phase of people adopting blockchain technology will be major companies, big companies who realize that actually I am able to afford to implement blockchain because the cost saving is immense. So my forecast or my hypothesis is that we'll see 2019, 2020, even out of 21, larger companies, big banks will be the first one to adopt it.
Big banks?
Yeah, in fact,
Yeah, I think
HSBC is already adopting it, tested it out, and it worked.
What about in the arts? Because obviously I have to ask that question, right?
Yeah.
In the creative field, I mean, we see a lot. We see a lot of like music tokens, durian tokens.
So this company, auction company, I believe it's Christie's, they went onto the blockchain, and you know, they're auctioning off items, and you want to track all these items that you auction off to be authentic, right? So you put it on the blockchain. Like, if so Adele has bought this auction, she has now received this item, and you know, I can trace it on the blockchain that you are now holding it. So if you do want to sell it next time, the authenticity of this item can be traced because it's on the blockchain. So that's a good use case. But when you talk about music, now, when blockchain came about, the idea for the blockchain was so that I can pay. It's like a currency. If I give you a piece of what I have, like say $10, I should not rightfully have $10 in my pocket. If I sell you a Leonardo da Vinci work of art, I should not have that duplicate. But when you talk about music, digital music, why should I give you my music and then I not have it? Like, what's the rationale behind it? The idea is for music to be shared. So now we talk about music platform that's on the blockchain. There are a couple out there already, but they are not serving the group of people who are already artists on the main stage. I'm an indie artist. I would never get traction. I would never be able to sell my stuff, right? And people may download my stuff for free, or I end up selling a CD at garage sale. But if I can join a platform and I can be an indie artist, and I can say that I've only 300 records for sale. I've only 300 records for sale, and then I can put it on the platform, and when people buy, that's it. I'm out of music.
Right.
It's almost like going back to the old days where you're printing CDs. So when you put music in that sense, where music is now limited, as opposed to I can just download freely and listen to any time I want, you're now increasing the value of music, or the record that you've created.
Wow, it's a game changer then.
Then the future is yet to be seen, whether people adopt this. People will feel that, okay, for the number of years I've gotten music for free, do I want to start paying for exclusive rights to certain tracks now? Actually, when you come to blockchain, when you start talking about blockchain, and a lot of people are now focusing on the business behind it, the use case behind it, I would like to challenge everyone who's watching this video, even yourself, to actually look at blockchain as a form of habit changing. People will change their habit because of blockchain and the businesses that come out of blockchain. We take a look at Netflix versus Blockbuster. Previously, you would have borrowed a DVD from a DVD store. That was the de facto, and it's kind of fun to go down with all the racks and you choose. Or go down to Tower Records, listen to your music, test it out. It's great. I mean, I love that feeling. I miss that feeling. But when music streaming came about and everything is so convenient, I could be at home in my underwear and just watch stuff on Netflix back to back to back without having to go down to the Blockbuster and come back. That creates a change in habit and behavior for people.
For sure. But at the same time, you know, we do miss, I'm sure some of you would agree if you're old enough to have ever bought a CD, that, you know, the excitement of having a CD, pulling out the sleeve, and then looking at like the photos, like that was.
And you buy, if you buy the limited edition, they come with like a booklet or they the nice packaging.
You open it, you unbox it, you have the B-side. Now it's just like, oh, B-side is on the same streaming platform.
So if you would find that nostalgic and you find value in that, potentially all the music streaming sites on the blockchain or the art, talking about arts, right? Now this would try to bring back nostalgia in another way and to give people back the value that they have taken for granted over artistic work.
Right, so I guess, you know, definitely it remains to be seen how, I think I like that you said, you know, the blockchain technology not just changes the way we do business or makes our life a lot more efficient, but potentially changing our habits. I think this new interest in handcrafted things, an interest in nostalgia, who knows, the blockchain could have a lot of, could have some impact on that as well.
And look, the world is huge, right? I mean, before the internet came about, we are all just very relegated to the neighborhood, the mom and pop shop, to our district, our area. But when internet came about, the barriers were dropped. People start, you know, talking online, meeting people halfway across the world. Businesses were done halfway across the world. So who's to say that I cannot use the blockchain for an artistic purpose that reach out to a target specific demographic, which is small enough, but when you take the whole world into account, it's sufficient.
So moving on to my next question. This is another like 101 noob question, right? If you are reading about the blockchain or studying it online, then, you know, one of the most basic things that comes out is, there are three different kinds of blockchain: public, private, and hybrid.
What's the third one?
Consortium?
Consortium? Oh shit, I don't know about the consortium. I haven't done research enough on consortium.
Am I wrong?
No, you might be right. I know public and private. I know hybrid. I'm assuming consortium might be a group of businesses keeping the blockchain within themselves, which effectively is a private blockchain.
But okay, I'm more interested in this public versus private thing, and this is where it confuses me. Because in my understanding, like, the blockchain is supposed to be this decentralized, public, everybody, like, anarchy.
The dream, right?
So then why is it that it seems a lot of businesses that are doing well are private blockchains?
You know, technology is like a weapon. It's who wields it and how they wield it. And public blockchain came about, blockchain came about. But the original principles behind blockchain was to make it public for the people, away from a centralized control. And that has been the mantra of Satoshi Nakamoto and the people adopting blockchain across the years. So the idea of down with the central authority, you know, now it's peer-to-peer, power to the people. And many of us still believe that dream. I mean, it's a beautiful story, right? But that doesn't mean that a private entity cannot adopt the technology and use it for their own benefits. And in fact, the mere fact that it's a private blockchain is not meant for everybody. So let's take the banks, for example. I'm HSBC. I want to use the blockchain because it reduces costs. I can minus away manpower, faster transaction. Why can't I use the blockchain? It's free to use, right? But that doesn't mean I want everyone to be able to access HSBC/ledger or blockchain and then look into my, okay, well, HSBC has done this number of transactions to this number of wallets, you know. I don't have that. And if there is any hacking incident, can I do a rollback? If I'm a bank and I can't roll back my transaction, gosh, if anything goes wrong, that's it for the entire infrastructure. So private blockchain has a place to play. Shipping, big shipping companies, like I know Musk is doing it for shipping, banks are doing it, I mean consortiums definitely, I mean amongst themselves. It's all about going away from the paperwork, right? If I'm a consortium and I have a business and I have to have paperwork with you, well, now I can have a smart contract put in on a blockchain and we just boom, we transact. So when all these banks are using all this blockchain, that's for private. But when businesses want to use it, the reason why they would go public as opposed to going private is really trying to go with the philosophy of blockchain.
Right.
Yeah. But like you rightly mentioned, a lot of private blockchains are around and more successful because private blockchains are controlled by a centralized, already successful business using their technology. But now the question is, are you going to be able to benefit from that? Unlikely so. If you're a customer of HSBC, now you are dependent on them to decide how much of that cost saving they want to give back to you. But when you're a public blockchain, everyone can access it as equal playing field. It's more democratic. Yeah. So it's again a different business model. So if your existing business model to adopt a public blockchain and to be open that way takes a bit of reconstruction to how your company structure is going to form in this business model.
So am I right to say this? So am I right to say that, in a way, for a public blockchain company to, I guess, exceed a big company that has a private blockchain, people actually have to change their habits.
Yeah.
Have to be willing to take a chance.
Yeah.
Let's all go into this anarchy.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think a lot of people will fall into the whole anarchy thing. Generally, people just don't care about it, right? So the people who are practicing, the early adopters, they are like, all for anarchy. But look at it now. Like 10 years have passed since Bitcoin came about. The whole original idea of anarchy and down with the government,
rebels,
right? It's no longer. It's more of a footnote in history rather than like us actually bringing down the feds and the central authority and the government. It's not happening.
It's romantic though.
It's romantic. So businesses who sell this dream jumped on that romantic notion of it being power to the people.
Right.
So it's a marketing thing now.
Right. But realistically, right now, what do you think the private blockchains are still?
I don't see them as one better than the other. I look at how the business is performing. Now, if you just compare apple to apple between a established company using a private blockchain that is not decentralized versus a ICO company that promises me decentralization and power to the people, and then they tank. And my money goes down with that company. Who do you think I think is a better person in this equation? The banks, which we are supposed to dislike.
The traditionalists.
Right?
I do not dislike banks.
Or the ICO company that promises,
I do dislike people who do not like to overpromise and do not deliver.
Yeah, so that's the reason why the market is as it is these days, where it's like this whole. We are so disappointed with this franchise, this illusion. Like, no, we're supposed to be together, right, guys? Why are we hacking each other and stealing each other's money? They are the real enemies. Right. So again, it's a narrative.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I actually, I am excited. The fact that big traditional companies are adopting the blockchain. I think it signals to me if they don't move, it's hard for the rest of the market to move. At some point, people get stuck, I think. So I think when like the big brands, the big companies, the big names jump in on the blockchain, I think it empowers and it enables the rest of us to also be able to then be introduced into it, because there's so much education involved. A smaller company, even if they want to use a public blockchain, do not have the resources, maybe.
I think it's a lot to do with user perception. As mainstream users, we have been trained. We have been trained and indoctrinated to follow people with power and with money to tell us what to do with our lives. So between Joe on the street who tells you that you have an equal opportunity, let's us all band together, right? Versus someone who says, I don't know, let's say even Elon Musk, for example, someone that's in his capacity. If he comes out and tomorrow he says something contrarian to that guy on the ground, we are going to see Elon Musk as a person with more authority and credibility than Mr. Joe on the street.
Right.
And if you look at what happened in 2018 and 17, a lot of big names from the various banks come up to say that, blockchain is shit, it's a scam, and people that, they might be right. So it creates a lot of confusion in the scene.
Right. Well, I guess market leaders are market leaders for a reason.
Yeah.
So be a leader. All right, so then that brings me to my last question for this episode. And I don't really know how to ask this. Maybe it's a bit sensitive. But so I think 2017 was when I first heard about, was when I was first approached by somebody who was doing an ICO. And that was when I started to like research it. So 2017, 2018, a lot of like companies, a lot of people around me were like ICO this, ICO that. Everybody's doing ICO. And then it kind of died down. And we're only in January of 2019 and I don't hear it anymore. What's going on?
Oh no, you hit the raw nerve in the crypto market. The ICO, ooh, dreaded word, you know,
People don't talk about it. It was sexy for 5 minutes.
You know, ICO has the same kind of feel today as the three other letters called MLM. You know, when people say, I'm in MLM, you go like, ooh, like, don't call me. Are you calling me out? Are you trying to sell me something?
Actually, we're not that close friends.
And then now you tell people, oh, I do ICO. It's like, is it money that you want? Are you crowdsourcing? You know, because ICO came with this, hits the scene in 2017, and when we have the market cap of 50 billion at the time, all the way up to 800 billion, this amount, the madness of money that went in. And because suddenly you open the floodgates to say anybody, anyone, even a young boy can put $1 into my company, and company raised 80 mil, 100 mil, you know. And what's there to show? Yeah, say thank you. You know, and 90+% of the companies that raise ICO, like, okay, there were 2,000 on a website. There are 2,000 ICOs listed. Okay, in the last 2 years, 1,000 of them, or 1,005, have already died. You know, gone out of scene. The other, God knows how many more percent of this remaining ICO projects, they have not developed fast enough to actually make an impact in the scene. But it's not the fault of these businesses. Business takes time to grow, right? But to the investors, it's like, I put in money today, 6 months later, I want you to already be out in the market and selling stuff. Like, what? You know? So a lot of those companies who are still working behind the scenes very slowly, investors just get, you know, they get disappointed, they get bored, they say, oh, nothing's happening in the company, screw them, I'm selling out. So even the good companies who are actually doing something good for the community, and I would use Wanchain as an example, because, so I'm an ambassador for Wanchain, but the reason why I believe in the product is that this company is doing things by the book slowly. They're very frugal with their expenditure. They don't just follow the whims and fancy of investors. And they've been releasing everything every quarter and said, we hit our milestone, we hit our milestone, we hit our milestone.
Oh, great.
But when a project like that says they hit their milestone, they come out with a press release, how is their solution relevant to, say, the man on the ground who's just buying into an ICO for the sake of speculation? Like, I can't see a product, I can't eat the food, I can't have a use case, but we know that behind the scenes they're doing a good job.
Right.
Right.
I mean, I think that's fine. So I think it's great. It seems like there have been, even in Singapore, there have been ICOs who have reached their ICO goals, and they are now working on their projects. And like, you know what? I'm happy for them. I'm happy for all the companies that have reached ICO goals, and I hope they do good stuff. But my question is, then. But we don't hear of any other ICOs coming up.
No, the new
recently.
one. No, see, I'm in a perfect position to talk about that because I'm an ICO consultant, a business consultant for companies who want to get into the blockchain. So in the early days, every company from hotels to restaurants to God knows what, anyone with a business idea wants to go into blockchain.
Right. Yeah. So here's my question: like, so there's this one generation of ICOs, and then they reach their goals. But there's no generation 2. What's going on?
Because the idea of having an ICO is just to crowdfund. But behind the scenes, you need to do business as usual. Which means, if I am not talking about the blockchain industry today, I'm talking about any traditional, or even a tech company, well, I want to see your revenue model, I want to see your business model, I want to see who's involved, who's your support, what have you done. Not just bring me a white paper and say, hey, look, I got an idea, I want a crowd to fund me. No, it doesn't work that way. So now people started getting smarter, advisors are a bit more prudent in their due diligence. So when companies come to us and all you have is an idea, they're not going to get very far. But in 2017, you can raise money with an idea.
I see.
So of course, those bad players are out. The barrier to entry is up. And we see that, okay, a lot of projects are not coming in. But it's not true. The projects that have made it through the fence are much better projects than what you have before. Unfortunately, these companies are suffering from the backlash of the bad actors from before. So even if I have a great product, I like brilliant product with revenue model, blah 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 blah. I come up to you. I even have seed funding, a traditional fund house is backing me up, and I said I want to do an ICO. You probably wouldn't believe me.
Oh, what's going to happen to them?
Right? So a lot of these businesses are still raising funds, but through the traditional way, through the VCs, through business as usual.
Okay.
Except that the whole ICO market of having a coin out there and having, say, more you, me, or any Joe on the street supporting, kickstarting my idea,
Right.
it's gone.
Right.
Yeah.
So just not having the ICOs element doesn't affect the fact that the industry of innovation and blockchain technology.
No. In fact, I'm here to argue the fact that I think ICOs slowed a lot of things down. Right? Now that people are going to be a bit more attentive to their business plan, you will get less people getting scammed or less people getting cheated.
Right.
So the original idea of ICO, the original idea is that if anybody can fund businesses as opposed to businesses selling 40% of their equity to VCs, we should, by right, in theory, see greater innovation being formed because anybody with an idea can now get backing from the community and put their idea, bring the idea to life. That's in theory, right? It's good. I love the idea. But what you get from 2 years of this example is that the majority of people who take advantage of these scenes are the people with bad intent.
Yeah.
So the bad players outweigh the good players, and now even the good players who want to come up and do good things, everyone else is going to go like, oh yeah, ICO, that's another MLM. That sounds like another, So it affected innovation.
Right.
Right? Like everyone come up with an idea, even the good ideas now just get affected.
Right.
If we didn't have that, right, or we have ICO in a curated way, I'm not sure how that's going to work now, right? Because the idea is you go public or you don't. Yeah. It's a good concept. Right. But the human nature is that people are just a bunch of assholes. They will do it for themselves. It's all about benefiting themselves. So the idea of the people power against the uprising of the central... In fact, the big bad guys, the fads, they don't have to do anything to wipe us out. We wiped ourselves out. That's what happened. That's what happened in 2017 and 18.
Yeah.
Just kill ourselves.
Okay. But do you expect to see... So now we're January 2019. Do you expect to see the ICO scene maybe pick up this year?
It will. I think crowdfunding, crowdsourcing will still be a thing, right? People have just got to get over it. People have got to get over the trauma of losing money. But human beings, we are greedy. We forget all these lessons in life when there's money to be made. And I tell you, if there's someone else comes up with a brand new idea, a new revised ICO or some form of fundraising, everyone's going to forget the lesson they learned last 2 years.
That's true. And you know what? There might still be an ICO unicorn out there from here that we haven't seen yet.
I'm sure. And I always say that, the ICO unicorn is like having Jesus come back in 2019. You see a guy walks on water, he says it's Jesus, you probably get stoned by everyone who doesn't believe him. It's just that people are so skeptical about unicorns these days, about great ideas.
To digest that image.
Right? Like, think about it, right? In Raffles Place today, this bearded man comes and says, I am your savior.
And then people stone him. What kind of people are you?
Or he might just walk past him and, take him on. He might just be hauled to court or
You
something.
are too cynical, my friend. Oh man. Oh no, I hope I never become like that. But that's a great explanation. I'm going to digest that. And then now that we're talking about ICOs, I have a few questions about the coins and the currencies out there. I'll save it for the next episode.
So how was the kiss today?
It was good.
Oh, I actually liked it.
It was good. It was a little prolonged, but very full and very rich.
And we'll see you next episode for more kissing.
Yes. Kiss us next time.
Cheers.
Bye.